and welcome to Books, the JKM Library's book recommendation show. I'm Jocelyn Codner, the Reference and Outreach Librarian, and a few quick reminders for events that are happening this week. Today, September 29th, is our second session of our Scare the Stress Away Spooky Crafts and Meditations. The prompt for today's session is The Magic of Friendship. We'll be casting some spells. This session is inspired by The Undead Girl Gang by Lily Anderson, and you can find a link to further details and registration in the description below. Tomorrow evening at 7 p.m., we'll be hosting award-winning best-selling author Libba Bray. This event will be on Zoom, so make sure to register to get the Zoom link in advance. We'll be chatting about her dark historical fiction series, The Diviners. And this conversation is going to include everything from the 1920s, spiritualism, social activism, strong women, and books and writing. Again, you can find more details and a link to that registration in the description below. But wait, that's not all. The library is teaming up with the University Archives and CAB to bring you a super cool event on National Dessert Day. Join us in the Carriage House on Thursday, October 14th from 7 to 9 p.m. for Chatham-specific ghost stories and readings from 4 award-winning local horror authors. Fall and Halloween-themed desserts will be served. Just like everything else, there's a link in the description to more details, but there's no registration for this event. You can just show up. It's currently Latinx and Latino American Heritage Month, and the JKM Library likes to celebrate and observe Heritage Months by sharing relevant resources. We have themed virtual displays that you can access anywhere with a Wi-Fi connection. I'll also put that link in the description. And today I'm going to be highlighting items by and about Latinx and Latino Americans. The first collection is Woman Hollering Creek and Other Stories by the renowned Sandra Cisneros. This collection is poetic, passionate, and powerful. Each story focuses on experiences of Latinas, the joys and the pains, the triumphs and the injustices. This collection is just so beautifully written. Cisneros is also a poet, and her writing is incredibly vibrant. It's hard to even convey to you the plot of these stories because it really isn't that narratively driven. It's more a moment, a feeling, a knowledge that certain groups of people share with each other, sometimes without even speaking. Woman Hollering Creek is a short read, but it will stay with you for a long time. You can check it out from the JKM Library today. My next book today is An African American and Latinx History of the United States by Paul Ortiz. This book is part of the Revisioning American History series. The JKM Library has several entries in these series, and they're all incredible. I personally think they should be required reading. The goal is to reframe American history from a cishet, white, able-bodied male perspective to promote a more robust awareness of the hidden parts of history. This series is a wonderful tool for building contextual knowledge about the United States and the world, and it's coming from voices that so often are left out of our history books. Ortiz begins this book with the enslavement of Africans in the Americas and connects the African American experience to the Latinx experience using labor activism and rights as a framework. He follows the parallels and intersections of these two communities throughout history and talks about how Latinx, Indigenous, and African American populations often work together in order to enact real and positive change for the future. This is a really good history. It offers a wonderful perspective, especially if you're interested in labor rights, because oftentimes labor rights and activism are so intrinsically connected to the stories of minorities in the United States and in the Americas as a whole. Just a heads up though, that really is Ortiz's focus in this volume. He really does look at labor activism mostly in the context of Latinx populations and African American populations in the Americas. So if you're looking for a different angle to those histories, this might not be the particular book for you. If you are interested in it, however, and I think you should be, you can check it out from the JKM Library today. And my third book today, that's right, I picked 3, is Side by Side, The History of Dolores Huerta and Cesar Chavez. This book was written by Monica Brown, illustrations by Joe Cepeda. This is a picture book about the admirable labor and migrant rights activists Dolores Huerta and Cesar Chavez. It's bilingual in both English and Spanish, and it has warm, beautiful illustrations that assist in conveying the book's important subject matter. If you have kids in your life, or if you're learning Spanish, or if you're studying education, this would be a wonderful book to pick up. You can find it in our curriculum collection, which is where we have all of our picture books, easy readers, middle grade, and YA fiction. We have a lot of age-appropriate nonfiction in that collection as well. And you can check those out just like any other JKM library book. Now that we're hitting the middle of the semester, you're probably encountering more complicated and difficult research projects for class. I just want to remind you that if you ever need a little extra help or want someone to sit down and talk over your research or go over library resources, you can always schedule an appointment with one of the JKM librarians. We would be more than happy to sit down with you one-on-one to talk about what resources might be most appropriate, how you could best conduct your research, and any other issues that you might be running into. I've put yet another link in the description where you can schedule an appointment with a librarian today. And that's all for this episode of Books. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and check the description for all of those important links that I mentioned earlier. There's a lot of them. Don't forget to sign up for our newsletter. That link is also in the description. And you can follow the library on Instagram at JKM Library and on Facebook at Chatham's Jenny King Mellon Library. Again, I'm Jocelyn Codner, reminding you that if you have any question at all, you can always ask a librarian. Happy reading!